my wonderful guest, Rastislav. Thank you for joining me, sir. Really appreciate it. We're going to be talking lots of things today, but we're going to be talking about your journey in life, and then you've also got a really cool fundraiser that's going on at the moment. So we're going to talk about the story of all that. But first of all, how are you feeling this evening? You all right? A little bit nervous?
Yeah, a little bit anxious, but everything's fine. Now that I can see you and talk to you, I think it's more on the interaction one-on-one is better than if I was somewhere else. But I know you for a while, so it's fine.
Yes, that's a good question, actually. How do we know each other?
Oh, we know each other. You were bossing me in another space, cycle. So that was quite interesting.
Yes,
and good.
Yeah, so I was the cycle instructor to the classes that you used to come to. As long as you went to quite a lot, right? So you go to different people, Rachel,
Mark, and then as well you three actually. I always did your classes, so I enjoyed it. Always in the front line.
Always in the front row, giving it beans. You were also at third space today as well, working out?
Oh yeah, I got that pass. So, got that. I wanted to do something high intensity outdoors, and it was snowing early in the morning, so I tried that one. It was intense. It was very intense, but it was good.
Anyone who's joining from around the world, in London today, it was really weird weather. We were it was sunny, and then April started snowing, random.
Yeah, it looks like we're back into autumn, winter. So I think it's going to last for one week, and then maybe we go back into spring.
Hopefully we'll have spring again. So correct me, I am saying it correctly, right? Rastislav or
Rastislav. There you go.
Rastislav, there we go.
Perfect.
First, when we get started, I want you to tell us about it's kind of a weird situation where we don't like to talk about ourselves a lot of the time. But it's a really important origin story, and you get to learn how you've forged your own opinions and your culture and everything like that. So in your own words, in your own time, start from the beginning. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Your childhood? How did you get to the Rastislav we see today?
Oh, the 43 years. You want to hear every single year what I did. So I'm originally I was born in Slovakia, in a city or a village of maybe 1,000 people, on a farm, on a sofa. So my mom didn't make it to the hospital, so I was born on a sofa. From the
you had a very relaxed start to life.
I was like this, right on a sofa. No, it was fun, and I think it taught me a lot because I was growing up on a farm, so I got this routine, waking up early in the morning and taking care of the stuff and care of the animals and so on. And then eventually going to school, 6 a.m. in the morning, breakfast, shower, school, and then every single Friday, I remember that one.
So did you work? Did you work as a child on the farm?
Oh no, it was just during the summer or holidays. That was it. Yeah. But we moved then from the village back to bigger town, which was 25,000 people, where I started to go to school.
Still very small compared to
yeah, 25,000, just a little. So so that's where I got my. I started to go to high school, and after that, I just moved to the capital city, Bratislava, where I was doing my university degree. I did my master's in marketing, and then. Yeah, my first job was in Bratislava, and then I moved to Prague, Czech Republic, I think. So, and then from Czech Republic, I was there for 5 or 6 years. Yeah, around 6 years. Then I moved here to London, and my plan was actually to stay here only for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then move to New York City, try that in a Big Apple. But I got stuck here. But I'm glad that I got stuck here because I found London very multicultural, and it's so close to everything, and it's the history and everything, so you can do every single day something. I mean, not now, but before you could do anything. So, and I met
there's a good mixture of, like you said, the architecture-wise, you've got the old in history, which I know you're very into, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, see, I do
yeah,
my research.
oh my goodness.
And then you've got the modern architecture, as well as like the fitness and forward-thinking parts of industries, and also like tradition. So it's a good mix. But you jumped quite quickly from like school. You jumped to university. So you did your degree. Was it 3 years? Was it in marketing? 4 years.
No, 5 years. Sorry, 5 years.
5 years studying. That's a long time. So your experiences whilst you're studying must have been good, or was it just very busy?
Oh, it was good. I mean, the way I was raised, and I can thank my parents that they raised me that way. It was quite strict. So it's like waking up a certain hour, and you have to have your homework done when you get back home from school. So after that, you can go and play or do your activities. And we did lots of activities as well with my siblings. And the funniest thing was that on Friday, because my father was a policeman, or he works in police force. So we were brought up during the communism as well, like when I was little or smaller during the communism. So it was different than now. And every single Friday I used to do dusting, and my sister used to do vacuuming, and there was no Friday that this was not happening. So every single Friday, this, and then my father came in with a finger, went like, clean, not clean, and again. So I'm quite thankful for the strict upbringing that I had, because that's where kind of it showed me the way where I am now.
Yeah, it's really important in the sense of like learning how we became how we are. Like you had this upbringing, and some people could maybe look at it negatively if they didn't enjoy it. Or I like the fact that you've it's given you your discipline in life and success, I assume, as well. Like,
yeah, I think I got it. It kind of like opened up the door for me to be where I am now, because after high school I went to university and I moved out from my home place, from my parents' house, and I lived on my own with my friends, and I studied and I went to school. So I was already out of the family nest and just studying. So I was quite responsible for my own decisions. That's how you can say it. So, and I am
No, go on.
I'm kind of the black sheep of the family as well. I mean, it's 4 of us kids. My sister is older, and then I have 2 brothers. They are twins, and they all still in Slovakia. But I was, maybe, I don't know, because partially it was because I'm gay. I just moved to bigger city where I had more freedom and enjoyed myself and see things, and then move out of the country completely, where all of my family is still in the same country around my parents' house in a circle of maybe 25 kilometers. So, and I moved to London, and I've been all around the world, and I'm glad for that. So
yeah, no, definitely. How was that? You can tell me, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's absolutely fine. But like you said, communism at the beginning when you were growing up, and now you obviously you're an openly gay man now. Was there any problems with your parents or grandparents when it comes to being openly gay or anything along those lines?
Not really. I mean, I remember from my childhood. Well, the Velvet Revolution was in 1989. So that was when I was still little. I was in my 10, 11. So I remember a little bit of it, but I always make jokes with my friends that I'm the only one here in the group of friends that I have that I was born during the communism. I was raised through federation and democratic republic, and then I moved to monarchy. So who can say that I've been in so many political regimes? So, but yeah, I don't remember that much from childhood. The political regime, it was kind of like if you can imagine, a little bit dark, because you never knew who can say something on someone else.
Yes.
Because that was the political regime we were growing up. But once the Iron Curtain fell, everything opens up. And I remember my father and my mom took their Skoda Auto, that's a brand, and they drove to Austria and they brought back the hi-fi stereo, you call it? Hi-fi stereo for playing the music, and we were like, amazing, first thing from capitalism. So it was exciting time. But yeah, I was the black sheep of the family, well, in a good way, and I just moved out because everything was too small not too small. It was too casual after a while.
Yeah, you wanted to experience more from life and have different influences. So did you know that you were gay before you moved out of the area?
Oh yeah, I knew that from a childhood. Well, not childhood. From when I was little. I was different because I remember
I only say that like, did you know in the sense of, I'm assuming that it wasn't that common where you were from, but I'm only making assumptions. I don't know for certain.
No.
You tell me.
I think when I was growing up, it was always already there that there's something. There are gays and lesbian and heterosexual. I mean, I'm lucky that the way I was raised and how I was raised, and I never had really like bad encounters or anything like that. Amazing. Or bullying. So, I mean, I played with girls more than with boys. The girls' games and more than boys. I remember when we had how do you call it in English when you do sports classes?
PE, physical education, PE.
Yeah, so when we had a PE classes, I've never been into collective sports, always doing things on my own and alone. I think that's even now everything that I do. So the teacher always came to the class, so boys, what do you want to do? Basketball, football? I never participated in those kind of sports. I've never been into something like that. So running and stuff like that, it was for me. So I knew that there is something that was different, but it's never been bad. I never had a bad experience, which I'm very happy about, because I know that kids these days...
that's amazing.
Oh, I think I lost you. Yeah,
I think that it may be your AirPods, maybe.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think it might be this changed the microphone to your AirPods, from your AirPods.
Okay. Oh, sorry, everyone. I'm still here.
Yeah, I can hear you. So how long have you been in London now?
Oh dear. I think it's going to be a little bit over 11 years. Quite
11
long.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite long. That's a long time now. And you also said, you got your first job? Was your first job in modeling? Was it in marketing? Tell us about how you got into modeling as well.
Oh, that's funny. So my first job was as a marketing assistant for Building Society back in Slovakia. And it was funny as well because the marketing team was 13 girls or 13 women and me. So that was very interesting. So I stayed there for 4 years, and then I got kind of headhunted for a company in Prague, where I was working in the marketing. And then after maybe 7 months, I left that job because I just did not get along with the manager. And I was waiting for the right job, and then I started as a marketing manager for a German law firm, and I stayed there for maybe 5 years, and then I moved to London and I did marketing here. So, but starting with the modeling was fun because with Instagram being so popular these days, or even before, I got messages on Instagram from someone. It was very weird because I found it really, weird getting messages like if I ever had done modeling, if I would want to. You never know what you can think about, something like that. So I kind of pushed it away. But kept coming. And then eventually my agent, mother agent back in New York City, they told me that this is a real agency and he would like to represent me, and that's how I started. I think 5 years ago, 4 years and something. So my mother agent is in New York,
And then eventually the same year, I got an agent here in London.
So you literally got scouted from Instagram, from just normal photographs.
Yeah, it's like the fairy tale. I didn't go anywhere to show my pictures. I just got scouted according to the pictures on Instagram. So thank you, Instagram.
Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, universe. So, that's it. Yeah. And do you enjoy it? How do you find it?
Yeah, I do. At the start it was quite challenging because it was the mentality that I had to switch in my head. That my agent and many of my friends and one good friend, who's a casting director as well, told me like, if you get rejected for a job, it doesn't mean that you fat or you this or that. You just basically do not fit the brief for that job. So the next job could be yours and so on. But yeah, so I kind of admire the young generation, young girls especially, and boys, that they can cope with such a stress or so many rejections. They have to go through so many rejections until they get that job. But I had something similar at the start, but then I'm quite happy that I have a different job on the side, or that's the main job that I have, and that job is allowing me to do something like this. That it's fun, it's entertaining. I get to see
exactly.
people and experience it.
I can imagine there's not like too much pressure on it, especially as you've stepped into it a little bit older. You've also got another job. There's not as much, like you said, you admire the younger generation who would potentially make the mistake of putting their self-worth with their their jobs and getting them or not getting rejected. It's the same in I come from a performing background, so dancing, performing. And there's lots of auditions and lots of rejection in that line of work also. So yeah, it's a very difficult one. And I think that creatives in that sense, who are judged for what they show or who they are, how they present themselves, it can be quite dangerous territory.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm quite happy that maybe as well. Yeah, I'm gonna always say it's the way that I was brought up as well. So I knew like I kind of stand straight and tall, and I can decide or differentiate what's more important and what's not.
Yes.
So I got many rejections for jobs. There are jobs that I wanted to have, but basically I didn't get it. But I didn't bang my head against the wall, or I didn't do any silly thing. That's why I admire the younger generation, that they so young and they still developing, that they're going through so much pressure and they can survive. Or hopefully they can survive. So.
Definitely. And just before we ask and touch about your fundraising, tell us a little bit about your fascination with ancient artifacts and your business, how that started, how that's going.
Oh, that's interesting because my boyfriend, my partner that we've been together, he always liked to say to everyone that we've been together for 5 years, but I didn't know him for 5 years. So we've been together for 3 years. He kind of introduced me in that field, and I never thought I would be doing something like that because I don't have the background. I have the background of marketing, and I'm quite organized as well. So, and when we first met, or a couple of meetings afterwards, he was telling me that he would like to have someone who is organized and can do things, and I'm quite good in putting things in place and organizing stuff and calendars and all that stuff, like the back office stuff and a little bit of marketing. And then as we started to talk, he's an archaeologist. He's got extensive backgrounds in this field, and he's a private art advisor as well. So we started to talk about it, and then I started a company, and the company's been now 3 years old and doing quite well. Or it's a good living. I'm enjoying it. And the thing is as well that because of him and because of the stuff that I'm doing, I kind of start to learn things about it, about the history. Now I can differentiate the coins, not as much as he can, obviously. But it's interesting that, for example, you hold in hands up that's been hand over from one generation to another generation, or was picked somewhere from a soil that was, I don't know, thousands of years old, and you hold it in the hand of the history that made you who you are. So it's just fascinating.
I find it fascinating. So, yeah, exactly. I find it fascinating also, and it's clear to see if you look on your like Instagram page or whatever, that there's definitely like your marketing influence is definitely in there. You can definitely see that.
My Photoshop skills. So Photoshop skills to do Instagram so appealing as it is now.
Exactly. It has to be.
I'm downplaying it a little bit, but yeah, it's you always try to find something that's like, if someone tells you something about artifact, then you just want to go deeper and deeper. And once you start to Google and find on Wikipedia or somewhere, the history is just fascinating. So that's how I got into it, and I still think I'm very happy that I have met him.
How do you come, in a sense, is it like buying and selling? Do you come across these items, and then market them? Or are you selling them for other people?
Yes, so you buy and resell, or you build up stock, and then you have a client, and you know what the clients are looking for mainly. So you advising them to buy it, or you push them into buy, because you're making a provision. You have to live and you have to pay the rent in central London, which is not little. So, but yeah, that's probably how it works. And we have a quite steady clientele as well, so keeps us. It keeps us. It keeps us going. So
yes, yeah. Most of the items must be like very, very rare and one-offs. Like it is fascinating.
Especially when you see the coins, because those days they didn't have a manufacturer that everything is the same, just like you have now. You have little differences, different cuts, or it's damaged, and the value of that coin is just raising up through the roof. So it's amazing to watch something like that. That something this little can cost so much. So,
and is there any ever anything that you come across that you like love, you fall in love with, and you can't sell it?
Oh yeah. We have stuff. So I mean I can. It's literally there in the corner. We have a table, and there are a couple of artifacts that we kind of found, and they're cute little, but they're old. And at the moment, we don't want to resell them because we got a little bit attached to it. So that's
I can imagine.
So, but you never know what's going to happen.
I can imagine.
So, but it's interesting. So.
Yeah, I find it very interesting as well. So that's why, sorry, I had so many questions because I find it very interesting.
No. Go on. I'm glad that you're asking about it, because I don't think I could just have a monologue about it. And it's nice to know someone who's interested in something like that. It tells lots about people when they asking questions constantly, because you just want to know.
I just want to know how it works and learn, and very much out of my price range, I think, a lot of the products, but
no, I'm sure you can. A couple of them, I'm sure you can afford it. Don't worry. Not everything is so expensive.
So tell me, right? You when I messaged you about coming on the live, unfortunately, you said you weren't in the right. When I first asked you, you weren't in the right frame of mind to jump on, and then we spoke again about you doing some amazing running and fundraising. And I was like, this guy's crazy. How much running is he doing? I hate doing a 5K. I'm a fit guy. You see me on the bike, but I'm like, I hate running. Yeah. So first, you're running like a half, and then a few days later, you're doing a full.
Yeah.
Talk us through that first. What are you actually doing?
So what am I doing? So I think I told a couple of my friends that I beat a little bit too much. How do you say it? I bite too much as I can chew. Then I can chew.
You bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah. So because the closer it gets to the event, I feel like I'm getting more anxious, more nervous that I'm not going to be able to achieve what I want to. And I think that's many people have that. It doesn't mean that it has to be sport. It can be something creative as well. The closer you get to the point where you have to show your commitment, the more anxious and nervous you might get. So, so I lost two of my best friends. Oh my goodness. Lost two of my best friends over a couple of, so the first one I lost 4 years ago, and my last one I lost last year towards end of the year. And I felt in that moment, it's like someone chops off your hands. It's like you don't know what to do. So, and I saw what depression can do, and I didn't understand at the beginning. I didn't understand at the beginning what it means when people are constantly saying that I'm depressed. You're not depressed, you're just sad, or you have a bad moment, but depression means something totally different. And so I had to go and talk to people, to professionals, to understand what my ex-partner, that time boyfriend, was going through and how I can help. And yeah, so when I lost him, I just got into that state of mind that I didn't have the time. It was so unexpected. I didn't have the time to say thank you or for all, because without them, I wouldn't be where I am. They kind of showed me the direction. They were there when I was going through rough patches and so on. And they showed me all this love. And I felt lost suddenly. So when Corona happened, or the COVID-19 happened, and we had to go into lockdown, it was even more stressful for my ex-partner who passed away last year towards the end of the year, because for him was big for him was already amazing to get out and talk to someone or do a little bit of sports, go for a walk or something like that. But when you have to be locked inside and you're suffering from depression, then you lock inside of your head, and then as well the walls are kind of caving in. So it's very difficult was for him to see and push through every single day to see that light at the end of the tunnel and just keep on going. So each of the day was just more and more, oh, my voice is breaking, sorry. So it was more and more difficult. And then when I lost him, sorry. So I felt that I lost my best friend, my family member, so it was quite shocking. So I decided to do something that can be at least a little bit what they gave me. Yeah. So I decided to run half marathon and after that full marathon, which is in total about around 65 kilometers. And I wanted to push my body into extreme, because marathon is considered as one of the most intense sports you can do, or runs you can do. So I wanted to do something. I didn't want to do fundraiser like for walking or something. I would say easier. So I just wanted to push myself to prove that they meant the world to me, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I decided to run half marathon in April, 24th of April, half marathon, and then official Richmond Run Fest marathon on the 15th of May. And all the proceeds from people who want to donate, every single penny, every single euro or dollar goes towards a charity called Mind that helps people push through another day or be there for them. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm training now, and it's just awful, because awful in a good way. I mean, I swear a lot as well, and I don't want to swear now because it's live. And it's just, I never thought it would be so exhausting. I never trained for anything so intense as it is, but I think my agency would be very happy because I lost already 4 kilos from something like that. So I'm trying to run as much as possible, prepare myself. My agent from New York, who ran 5 marathon, called me when he found out that I'm doing this for a charity. And I'm running my first marathon, and he gave me a couple of tips. So I ran my 18-miler few weeks ago, and now I still have to do my 22 miles and then full marathon in May. But the most surprising thing was when I ran the 18 miles, which is 29 kilometers, which doesn't very look like a big number, but the intensity and the pace that I kept was always around 5 minutes, 19 seconds per kilometer, which is quite fast. At the end, the last 2 kilometers, I felt like I'm just walking, but I had to push through to 29. And once there was a 29, I just stopped, I breathed out, and within 30 seconds or less, tears came out of my eyes. And I don't know what it was to release the energy or something, happiness or anything. It was just, I started to, like a little child, in crying there on the street. Tears came out, and I was happy that I did it. It was one of the biggest things that I've done so far, achieved so far. But marathon, it's gonna be the longest one. And I told myself, even if I have to walk through that finish line, I'm gonna finish it. Even if I have to be the last one, I just have to finish it for them. So, and I think this as well, I'm putting too much pressure. Do I talk too much? Or
No, it's okay.
I think I putting too. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine from New York, told me that I'm putting too much pressure on myself to run the marathon and not thinking about the reason I'm doing it, because the reason why I'm doing it should be the major part of the marathon, not running those 43 kilometers.
Yeah, that's the reason. Not only do you want to do something that physically like really tough to prove to yourself and to prove to everyone how much your boy's meant to you, you're also, correct me if I'm wrong though, you're raising awareness for one Mind charity, the person that you're raising money for, and that this doesn't have to happen, and it's easier said than done, but we don't want to lose anyone else from them feeling whatever it is, when they're feeling so overwhelmed with their depression or whatever mental illness they may be suffering for, feeling suicidal, that
it's just that thing that you just want to see at the end of the finish. When you want to run something like that, you want to see it at the finish line, people that you love and smiling at you. And now I'm running, and I know that I'm going to see their friends, because they already said I have a couple of friends flying from Ireland and many friends here, and my partner is supporting me as well. He's going to be there. But it's going to be those two people that I wish they were there. So
they will.
If I can help someone else, then I'm happy.
That's it. I think that's the message, isn't it? That if you can help one other person from this, and then they feel comfortable enough to reach out for help. But this is why this subject is so important. Mental health, is we talk about this sort of stuff a lot, and it's not, you never know what somebody's going through. Like you have to make sure that you make it your prerogative when you're speaking to other people, that if you ask them if they're all right and they say they're okay, then make sure you just check and you push and you do there's loads of different tools you can use to make sure you open somebody up. And that's why it's important to lead by example and be open and be vulnerable. And like you're doing yourself today, you come on this live, and you before we came on, it's scary. You said it's the first time you've ever done something like this. It is scary, but you're leading by example. You're being vulnerable, so other people can do the same.
I saw the other day a little video on Instagram where there's this guy who's a motivator, I think, something motivator, and he said people tend these days be scared to get out of the comfort zone, and the comfort zone, what it causes is you're just staying in the middle of it, and you're just scared to get out. So each day you should do something that is out of the comfort zone to get more confident, get out there. So I think that's quite important as well. So
definitely. I definitely agree with that. You getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable is really important, and we all deserve to be confident, and most of us, including myself, we're not all the time, and we think that we've got imposter syndrome, or we don't feel like that we're good enough. But you would, if anybody else asks you for advice, we have a different opinion on other people than we do on ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. You're always looking at yourself, or at least I find it, you're more critical about yourself than you should be, because that's quite, when you're too critical and you're just kind of caving in, so it's not a good thing. So
I think
it's a good thing to have a pit. Sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted to say my thoughts on what you're doing. I think it's amazing. I think it's very beautiful. I think that I know that it's been a really tough time for you, and that it's really that you feel really fueled to do something amazing. I think I'd like to mirror what your friend from New York said about don't put so much pressure on the time you want to do it in or how you want to do it. And we both know that you'll finish that race. If you have to crawl over the end of the line, you will, and you do it for them. So it doesn't matter what time you do it in. There's no goals to reach. I know you want to do it in a, push yourself athletically as well. Another way to get out of your comfort zone. But if people can and will and want to fundraise, this video will be saved. So you can post it. Or we can do the clip. Where and how can they donate money?
Oh yeah, so in my profile on my Instagram somewhere there, I don't know where. If people click on my profile, there is a link to.
Yeah. If you click here.
Wait, I think I'm looking this way.
No, it's me. I'm at the top.
Okay.
This one.
So in my profile is a link for the website. There is a story why I'm doing it, and the pictures of my 2 boys that I lost, and people can donate. I mean, I know we're living in uncertain times. There is corona, people losing jobs, or they're afraid to lose jobs. So I know that it's quite difficult, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm grateful for every single cent. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be money. It can be cheer up. It can be just forwarding the message or the link and so on. I think it's about the awareness rather than just the monetary fund or the funds that I'm trying to raise.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter how big the amount is. I know that it's going to help someone at the end of the day. So I'm grateful for everything to you, to absolutely everyone who's watching. But I'm grateful even for cheering up. So
every little helps, and it doesn't have to be the price of one of Rastislav's artifacts. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that expensive.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about it. I was talking to a friend of mine. So just don't drink that coffee. Go and do something for society, because you never know where you're gonna be, or if you know. So. Give
back, because there might be one time in our lives when we need some help as well, and so I do believe in giving, paying it forward, and I'm not sure if I believe in karma, but I definitely believe in.
Oh, I do every single time I say something stupid, I just slap myself and I said bad karma. I'm quite what do you call it, superstitious, yeah. So I try to not talk badly. I try to do things certain way, but that's me, my personality, and I'm quite introverted as well. So that's why for me it was a little bit of a big deal to come and talk live with you as well, because it took lots of energy out of the comfort zone.
Yes, out of the comfort zone, 2 past your bedtime.
Oh yeah, it's past my bedtime. My friends know that around 9:30 I go to bed, so it's past my bedtime. So, but no, it's fun. I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad that I can speak up, because I feel like when you talk about a problem or a certain situation, makes it lighter. You don't feel so heavy that you're alone in it. So when you can share your story with other people, then the pressure gets diluted. Diluted. It's not so heavy on you anymore.
There's an English saying that's a problem shared is a problem halved. But I think that there's also something really powerful about, when we have thoughts going round in our head, they can often keep growing and get bigger. If we say things out loud, you not only, or even write them down, that you get to hear yourself say it, or you get to see it in and it just becomes less overwhelming, I think, anyway, from my own experience.
No, absolutely. I think it's true. I feel the same way. So this way I can share my story and the problem, and problem halved.
Exactly.
Now it's up to you.
More people than just me have heard it, so it's however many there is, not even half. It's even smaller than that because there's more people listening.
Yeah, I think it's just why the one of the major reasons why I convinced myself after rejecting your first offer or postponing your first offer was not because of why I'm doing it, because I feel like if I can say it out loud, there might be someone who you haven't talked to someone for a while, and people who suffer from depression, if you don't hear from them anything, you just have to pick up the phone, send text message, or call someone, or just show up at the door, and you can just say it alive. You never know. So if I can share this,
it's amazing. One, it's really, really important, and the message that you're sharing, and I think that goes out to everyone who's listening to this right now. Think of someone that you might need, who might be alone. They might be single. They might be living alone. They might be, they might have had mental health problems in the past, or they might never have had anything or admitted to anything.
Yeah.
Just reach out to that one person. Reach out to 3 people. That just do it. Do it tonight. Yeah. Do it in the morning. Yeah.
It doesn't take much, and you can just as well save a life. So that there is no more Henrys or no more Pauls like I lost. So probably lost. So they're in a better place anyway. They're probably looking down on me and just pushing me. So it's a funny thing though, because the friend of mine, Henry, his partner passed away a long time, and he met with a woman who was a medium, and she told him that every single time when he sees a feather from a bird somewhere, like unexpectedly, that's him watching over him. And I don't believe in these things, but somehow once he passed away and once my both dogs passed away as well, every single time I see a feather, it kind of reminds me like, oh, okay, so maybe it makes it easier to think about that there is something else. So, and that they're watching and pushing me. So
I think, we have to find our ways to understand and cope with things that happen in life, and that's the beautiful thing, is no matter what you believe, is that they still live on in your memories, because and you're reminded of them every time. And I'm sorry, I'm really sorry for your loss, but I think that obviously there's
thank you.
You're doing the there's no right or wrong thing to do. Everyone's going to deal with it differently, but I think it's very brave of you to, one, come and speak about it, but two, just push yourself and put yourself out there and tell, your friends and their loved ones, they lived amazing lives and they shouldn't be forgotten, but also we don't want anyone else. I read something about suicide the other day, it spoke about somebody who's feeling suicidal. A lot of advice that somebody would get or hear is that your pain doesn't end; it's just transferred to other people. That is potentially true, but that shouldn't be the number one reason you tell that person deserves to live and have a beautiful life. It doesn't need to be about your pain being on someone else. Don't worry about that. It's about you and how much you're worth and how much you're loved and self-love and everything like that. I think
that's what I think. It's maybe a little bit childish to say. It's like you see, we live in what kind of world we live in with all the social media where they're giving you, this is how you have to look, this is your perfect life, and people post pictures on Instagram or I don't know, or other social media. They perceive that this is their life, this is how they are, but they don't know what's behind the facade. So these days it kind of feels that you're just living this artificial kind of life on the outside where you can be struggling on the inside. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that I think that social media could cause. It's a really tough one because I don't know the statistics or facts, and I don't even think that that even matters, because they're never going to be a true representation. But I think that social media is definitely can be a real problem when it comes to people's mental health, and like you said, comparing to other people and this is why it's really important that you're doing what you're doing as well. Like you said that you've jumped on, that you've it's a fairy tale story that you turned into a model. You got scouted on Instagram for your normal photograph. You now post all these amazing photographs of yourself looking handsome, and this is the real you as well. We all have stories and struggles and everything that we go through. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've never. I think I was not lucky, but the way that I was raised and everything. I never had major problems, nothing with the family. I mean, my parents are divorced, but I remember when my parents were in the divorcing process, and they sat us all the kids together, and they told us like, okay, this is how it is. So I'm the kind of middle child because I have twins brothers and then older sister, and I said, okay, well, you put all the 4 kids through the university. We all have jobs. You have done your life, what you have to do for the kids, and now you just have to live your life. So I told them, okay, so when you want to get divorced, then get divorced. So, but what's funny thing was my father used to come on Sundays, still cook lunches for us. He came to our old parent house, and he used to cook lunches for a couple of months, even after they got divorced. So my parents, they have a kind of friendly relationship. So maybe even that's why I never had any major problems. And the way that I got through the life, it was not everything was offered to me on a golden platter or silver platter, but I got through it. And I mean, there are so many people who go through tough times, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Definitely. Yeah, good.
I'm happy,
good.
and I'm doing something that I believe in, and even if I have to push myself and into extreme, I know that it's worth it, and if it can help someone else, so it's good. So
yeah, definitely, mate.
Just go and donate.
Yeah, exactly. Go and donate,
people, friends.
If you can, if you can manage at this time. We, like Rastislav said, we understand that it's a very difficult time, but it's an amazing cause, and even if you can't afford to donate, you can definitely afford to either share the story, or like you said, like we said before, call your friends, reach out to people, and
absolutely.
And if you feel like you're the one that needs to be reached out to, then tell someone that as well. And it's always hard, but people love you, you're valued, and people care about you and they want to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll wrap things up for now. I didn't know if there's any last things that you wanted to say. I usually ask. One of my questions that I like to normalize between men is ask the last time you cried. Was it that time when at the end of the 29K, or was it cried more recently?
No, there was a cry. It was after there's 29 kilometers, but it was unexpected. I mean, it was just probably the pain and the happiness, and releasing of kind of energy that was bottling it up in me, and even that so far this was one of my biggest achievements. So I think there was that happiness cry. But you made me cry when I had to talk about my boys just now. I mean, it wasn't cry; it was just sharing it. Because I was really thinking that it would be very difficult. But that's why I think what we were talking about, that sharing a problem is not problem. Sharing a story, it makes it more real, and the energies.
For sure. Exactly. And they deserve to be spoken about, They deserve it.
Absolutely. So
I hope you don't think I made you speak about it.
No. I'm happy. I feel that the more I talk about it, the easier it is for me, because at the beginning when I had to go through the situation of losing them, so I was kind of hanging on to the group of people that we knew. All of us knew the boys, and it was constantly us. So it was very difficult. But then once I started to talk about it, I talk to my parents about it. I talk to my boyfriend now about it, so everyone knows about it. And I have amazing supportive system in my ex-boyfriend. I didn't have so many ex-boyfriends. It sounds like I had so many, but even my ex-boyfriend, I'm still very close with them. So I'm very lucky that I have this amazing family. I call them. Doesn't matter if it's blood related or not, but they care about me, and it helps me when I can share my story, and it's make it easier that each day after it's just easier. So at the beginning, it's all used to be kind of painful. It's like a starting pain, but now it's more, I'm remembering the fun stories, even though it's sometimes teary or something reminds me of them, but it's easier to get on with life. So thank you very much for that, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. And I think that was a perfect way to sign off. I think that was a really beautiful sentiment. But yeah, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. I know it was, like you said, outside your comfort zone, being an introvert.
Absolutely.
But I think it did very well. So hopefully it's inspired people on many different levels. And also, like we said before, if you have got a few pennies, then please go donate to the amazing cause and in memory of amazing people, loved ones of Rastislav.
There you go.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Now I can go and sleep.
Yeah, exactly.